8 Days and Beyond.
The show where we talk about our history, our heritage, and our culture.
I'm Amari.
I'm Charisma. Welcome. AJ.
What's going on?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful.
Good.
And yourself?
I'm delightful. Thank you for asking.
How's your February going?
It's going well.
Flying by.
I can't complain. Lots to celebrate.
Lots to celebrate.
Yes.
What's going on today?
So today we're talking about one of my favorite things.
What's that?
Food.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
You know me, like I'm a foodie.
Yeah.
I travel to eat.
You travel, right, exactly.
I
fancy.
travel to eat for new culinary experiences. But one of the cool things about living in Philadelphia is that there are a plethora, if you will, of options in terms of food. But one thing that I've noticed, especially because it's February and you know what we do here on 28 Days and Beyond, is that I haven't been able to find a whole lot of options as it pertains to African cuisine and authentic African cuisine. Like I can find sushi, I can find Greek, I can find Mediterranean, I can find fusion, but as it pertains to like authentic African food, it's a little bit harder to find.
It's a little bit harder to find. That's my experience. So I am not from Philadelphia, as you know.
Yes.
But I started coming in 2002, and I discovered an Ethiopian restaurant in West Philly that I've been going to ever since.
Wait, I wonder if it's the same one I go to. Which one is it?
No,
you tell.
I have a few.
All right, on three. Okay.
If they see this, I don't want them to feel like I'm cheating on them. But
Fair enough.
But
there's one in West Philly I go to too.
There's three that are coming to mind that I go to, but then I still know of several other ones. But Ethiopian, right, in West Philly, I know Southwest, you can get some more, West African cuisine. But right, especially in terms of, because I'm finding out Philadelphia is known as like a restaurant city. Yeah. They don't really talk too much about, African food as being one of those options.
Well, we are looking to change that, and our guest today is here to talk about that very thing.
That's it.
So Sahmed Okyne is the owner of Kings and Queens restaurant in Upper Darby. Yeah, he's from Liberia originally, came here to the States.
Yeah.
Yes, and is bringing authentic African cuisine. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about, when we think about food and culture, it definitely is one of the things that brings us together. So I definitely want to get into that and why it was important for him to bring Liberian cuisine, authentic Liberian cuisine, to Philadelphia.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, but we got to take a break.
Of course.
So we'll be back with more 28 Days and Beyond right after this. Welcome back to 28 Days and Beyond. We are now joined by Sahmed Okyne. Thank you so much for being here.
Nice meeting you guys, man. I appreciate the invite. I definitely appreciate it.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your story. You came to the States from Liberia when?
So I came from Liberia like 96, 97. So when I first came, I was living in New York. Then I moved to New Jersey. Then I finally landed in Philly. So Philly raised me for the most part after jumping around. And I'm growing up in Southwest Philadelphia, to be specific. We had a lot of African influence with just growing up, my mom cooking authentic African food. We're able to bring the culture from Liberia to America in the short term when it comes to just our food. So it's been a long time with Liberian food, and from like 98 going on. So I felt as if that I wanted to share that what I grew up on, despite not growing up fully in Liberia, but we're still able to have the authentic food. As I never really ate out, I always ate a home cooked meal, so I know how I felt when I ate Liberian food. I was, it was joy. It was a lot of joy, and I really wanted everybody to experience the joy that I experienced. So coming out of college, around like 2014, I decided to share that experience with everybody. So I started from a little window on 49th on Woodland, basically like a takeout. I found a spot on 49th on Woodland where I'll be able to like just delivery and just take out, giving people. But I wanted more than that. I knew the vision of Kings and Queens to kind of where we at right now. I wanted more than that when it comes to just.
When did you really decide that you wanted to pursue the love that you had for food and cooking that you got growing up, getting authentic cuisine in your home? When did you really decide you wanted to pursue that and have your own restaurant?
So my love for food, I said I would eat Liberian cuisine, but I was also interested in like the Jamaican culture. So I had a lot of Jamaican friends, a lot of Caribbean friends, so I started cooking Caribbean cuisine actually. A little, I had it down the little bit of experience with Liberian cuisine from my mother just naturally, but then I really got interested in heavy in Jamaican cuisine, so I'll go to Jamaica like at least 4 or 5 times learn how to cook on Thai rock.
Everybody ain't it. He's like, I just went to Jamaica a few times, you know.
Study.
So I'll be in Kingston. I'll be like in a rural part of Kingston. Just like it felt like back home. Jamaica felt like back home. So I fell in love with it because my home is like 3,000 miles away at that time.
Yeah, right.
I couldn't make it in Jamaica. It was like
so
right
that was
there.
like the closest.
$3,000 away. Yeah.
And so at a young age, I didn't really have it. So that's how I became close. And I just fell in love with just cooking in general. And after I just went, I saw how Jamaican food spread out throughout the world. I felt as if Liberian food was the next for that. And I felt as if that's the introduction to the culture. So I believe food brings that.
So there's been a debate raging on the internet for the past couple of years. And in your professional opinion, perhaps we could settle it today. There has been a conversation about who has the best jollof rice.
Yeah, I knew it was coming. Like, I knew it was coming.
And I personally feel, you know what I mean, with my Liberian heritage, it's a small country.
Okay.
It's often overlooked. You know what I mean? The debate seems to be between one West African country and another. That would be Ghana and Nigeria.
Yes.
But for those of us who grew up on Liberian jollof rice, who has the best jollof rice?
Boom, on the spot.
First, I'd like to say thank you, Senegal, for originating it.
Yeah.
But Liberia mastered it.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So that's it. The debate is settled.
It's settled.
You heard it here on 28 Days and Beyond.
It's settled.
It is settled. Yeah, yeah. So some of the things that you offer at your restaurant then would be jollof rice. What other sort of dishes?
So we order. A lot of Liberian food is plant-based. If you must know, like we have potato greens, leaf of the sweet potato. We also have cassava leaf of the yucca. We cook down okra. Eggplant to make the gravy with the zucchini. So like we just turn what we grow in our backyard to healthy eating food with sometimes assorted meat or things like that. So it's
wide
love
variety.
and healthy. It's a wide variety. We have almost over 20 different types of dishes. And everything is, like I said, 99% plant-based.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hungry, and before I get too hungry, because we have to finish this segment, we're going to take a break. But when we get back, we want to hear more from you.
No problem. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more 28 Days and Beyond right after this. Welcome back to 28 Days and Beyond. We are still here with Sahmed Okyne, and we were talking about all of the lovely options that you have at Kings and Queens.
Yes,
Which made me hungry. Were you hungry?
One of the things that I'm curious is how do you? Yes, I am. I am hungry.
Well,
that's what I'm trying to just, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to think about it. One of the things that I'm curious. So you said, you know, the Jamaican, you know, culinary aspects. Have you incorporated that into the restaurant as well?
So we have this thing called jerk and jollof.
Oh.
So
say no more. That's what's up.
That's amazing.
It's a mixture I've been doing like for years. But some people grew up, I mean, some people have tasted before and they flew with it. But that jerk and jollof, it definitely brings a good culture mix, nice. Caribbean and West African.
Yeah. Have you seen any similarities between the, you know, the food from Liberia and the food from Jamaica?
Of course, of course.
What are some of those?
It's very, 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 that's why I fell in love with just the Jamaican cuisine and culture. I've seen a lot of similarity with just like the rare plants that they may have, like breadfruit, and different things.
Yeah.
Okay. Why was it important for you to really share your love for Liberian cuisine with this region? Like, what was it that made you say, you know what, I want to take a piece of my home and really give it to?
Well, with being a foodie and just kind of like going to Paris, experiencing
another one.
Cuisine.
Another one. Okay. Yeah.
Speaking my language.
Traveling to Ireland and just like being able to like taste food. That's when I came up with the motto for Kings and Queens. It stands for Liberian cuisine too, but also other cuisines. Life is too short for average food. That's our motto right there.
Wow.
Wait, can you repeat that for the people in the back?
Life is too short for average food.
All right now.
So we got to explore. We got to get our taste buds out there and just go outside our comfort zone and just endorse. Just be able to bring in different cultures by tasting their cuisine, and that's like the entry to people getting to know what Liberia is about. And I feel as if that's the way in, our food.
So, but outside of the restaurant, though, you're also using food to serve the broader community. Yeah. What are some of the ways you're doing that? Okay,
so actually this Sunday, February 9th, we're feeding, this is the second annual, we're feeding the less fortunate, fine dining style. So basically, the way I go out, like I said, I'm a foodie, so I like to go out. It could be I'm not gonna say it could be like a nice fine dining restaurant downtown, and we get a 3-course meal, get catered to, and just being able to bring out one by one. Not so much of just like, there's nothing wrong with it, but just having a line when it comes to the less fortunate lining up. I want to be able to give them the experience that I experienced.
Yeah.
Because like not everybody can afford that experience. I thank God I'm able to afford that experience. So I would like to give that experience back to those who can't afford it just the best way I can. So this will be the 2nd annual Feed the Less Fortunate by Kings and Queens.
And who did you partner with for this?
So we have a partner with Miss Glam. We also partner with Beauty Rebellion, Chef Dutchy, and 3BG Marketing. So we have a few more sponsors too that we appreciate, and I would just to bring this all together.
So you're gonna have 3 options of food: appetizer, an entree, and a dessert.
Appetizer, entree, and dessert.
That's awesome.
Wow. Very, very good.
Truly.
And so this is the 2nd annual. How did last year go? Obviously, it was a success.
Last year was great, man. Last year was just it was more than I could handle, honestly. Like,
wow.
I didn't really know the after. It was just like that. When I say more than I can handle, I mean like the after effect and just the feeling. I was just trying to just really just do it all up for them, and like I didn't realize how I feel after. So like that bring a lot of excitement for this year. So it's like it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. And I just look forward to this year just being bigger and better every single year. Just to dedicate my time with Chosen 300.
So for the folks out there that don't know where to find you, where is Kings and Queens located, and where can they follow you to keep up with the restaurant and to support?
Okay, so Kings and Queens, we down south to one location, and we're in Upper Darby, 107 Fairfield Avenue in Upper Darby, PA, 19082. We're right across the street from the mayor's office and also from the post office. You guys can find us right there on Fairfield. On Instagram is Kings and Queens LC. Also on Facebook is Kings and Queens LC, and we're on Twitter with Kings Queens LC. Search us up. Come down and get the experience.
Well, we can't wait to have the experience. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but thank you. Thank you so much for coming down here and
appreciate
joining,
you
and
guys,
for the work
man.
that you're doing in the community.
Right up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
We'll be back with more 28 Days and Beyond right after this.
We're back on 28 Days and Beyond.
Yes,
Charisma.
we are. Yes.
Somebody had a lot to say, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Lots to offer, too.
Definitely, man. One of the things I do think is important, we didn't touch too heavily on it in the intro, but it's certainly on my mind, is like, you had mentioned, food brings people together, but food is also a genuine expression of culture. What do you make out of the things that are surrounding you in your environment that sustain you, but also taste good, but also allow a community of people to come together? You know what I mean? So I think that's a beautiful thing, what he's doing.
It is a beautiful thing, and I think it's something that people don't necessarily process in the way that you just explained it. Like,
It's because I'm deep.
I mean, but we eat every day, right?
We eat every day.
And most of us are in some kind of routine where it's like, okay, you wake up at this time, you eat breakfast or don't, whatever, and you go throughout your day, but we're not really thinking about, what food really represents in a number of different ways.
But especially because, I'm sure you've had this experience growing up.
What?
You didn't watch TV, or if you did watch TV while you ate, it was at a table with your family.
Yes.
Right. And
no, we didn't do TV while we ate.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
Okay, that was just us. But we were all watching it together, though. But the point is that, like, you know what I mean? We live in a fast pace, so that it's just like, oh, what can I do that's quick and go grab it, and, right? As opposed to like,
I've even had that experience traveling. I remember one time when I was in Paris, I was with my brother.
There it is, yes.
There it is. And we were at this beautiful cafe, and like, I guess we, ate quicker than people normally eat there, because eating there is like a whole thing where they, set aside time to actually partake in the meal, spend time with whoever they're eating with and all of that. So they came over to the table and they were like, is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah. And then I had to like, really calm myself and be like, I'm in Paris. Why am I rushing?
And that's why I think, Sahmed with Kings and Queens is really, when he talks, he's very passionate about the cultural aspect of Liberian cuisine.
Absolutely.
And just wanting to share. He said, growing up, that he wants people to experience what he experienced. That's a beautiful thing.